What happens if you don't eat for 3 days? Hi, my name is Mark. I'm a member of the Heart Disease Code team. We do extensive research into many ways to fight and prevent heart disease while helping you to extend the health span of your life. In this video, we'll be having a look at a few different types of fasting, what the benefits may be for you, and we answer the question, what if we fast for a bit longer? What may happen to you if you were to fast for 3 days? Fasting has gained popularity as a biohacking tool to encourage weight loss, prevent insulin sensitivity, and reduce inflammation. Intermittent fasting is the most common way to practice fasting, which involves having a structured window for your eating, which means that you may only be fasting for around 16 hours. And your food must be eaten within an 8-hour window. Intermittent fasting is popular because it's easily achieved by skipping breakfast, while others may prefer to skip dinner. A lot of that fasting occurs while you're actually asleep anyway. This type of fasting requires little thought or preparation, and many people experience some of the incredible benefits from increasing their fasting period each day. But what happens if you fast for a little longer? And is there really any benefit to reducing food for days on end? Keep watching, because today we're going to be revealing what happens within the body if you don't eat for 3 days. But first, make sure to give us a like, ring the bell for future notifications, and don't forget to subscribe to the Heart Disease Code to discover new and helpful ways to reduce your risk of heart disease. Plus, stick around to learn how you can get 2 free gifts from us, which have been designed to help you in preventing and fighting heart disease risk. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the incredible benefits of intermittent fasting and the effects on reducing your eating window. People practice intermittent fasting for many different reasons. Some individuals find it easier to control their calorie intake by skipping a meal, while others simply feel better giving their digestion a break each day so that their body has the energy to focus on other important functions. Most people use fasting as a tool for weight loss because it leads to an automatic reduction in daily calories. It also causes hormonal changes that encourage weight loss by lowering insulin and increasing growth hormone levels. Because of these hormonal changes, intermittent fasting has been shown to increase metabolic rate by 14%. So that means that even when you're sleeping, even when you're sitting at your desk doing some work, you find that your metabolic rate is increased, so you're burning more calories even when you're not actually doing anything. And that's really, really popular for a lot of people, of course, for obvious reasons. And among countless studies, one study also found that those who practiced intermittent fasting lost up to 7% of their waist circumference. This measurement is an important indicator of metabolic health because it refers to the harmful fat that accumulates around the organs and can lead to serious disease. Along with weight loss, fasting has been linked to some incredible health benefits, and many studies reveal the powerful effects of fasting on our metabolism, digestive function, and cardiovascular health. Although it's gained popularity in the last decade, fasting is a practice that has been around throughout human evolution. In hunter-gatherer times, our ancestors would go through long periods of fasting if food was scarce. Humans have evolved to function without food for long periods of time because we haven't always had the availability of food that is so accessible as today. When we look at fasting from an evolutionary standpoint, it may be much more natural to us than eating 3 to 4 meals each day. When we fast, there are a range of biological processes that take place. Fasting essentially cleanses the body of waste products, and it allows cells to accomplish important processes that otherwise wouldn't have the capacity with a steady and constant energy intake. Does that make sense? If you are constantly eating and constantly digesting, there are processes in your body that cannot normally take place or perform optimally. So fasting gives the body that break from digestion to allow those processes to take place. And one of those processes, a very, very important one, is called autophagy. That's the removal of old proteins and waste products within the cell. Autophagy has been linked to many health benefits, from improved brain function to the prevention of serious diseases. So what happens when we fast? In a fasted state, the body doesn't have access to glucose as it usually would, which forces our cells to tap into our glucose stores in order to produce energy. This is also known as gluconeogenesis, which is the natural process that the body uses to produce its own sugar. Because there is no glucose readily available, the liver then converts amino acid, fats, and other non-carbohydrate sources into energy. During a fast, our body also tries to conserve energy, which causes our basal metabolic rate to become more efficient. As a result, our heart rate and blood pressure lower, and we become more efficient at conserving energy at rest. A little later into a fast, the body will start to burn stored fat as its primary source of fuel, and this is what's known as ketosis, which is the state that those who follow a keto diet strive to achieve in order to encourage weight loss. Ketosis also aids in balancing blood sugar, reducing insulin resistance, among many other health benefits. Because fasting also puts the body into a state of stress, our cells are forced to adapt to this new challenging environment. This is not necessarily a bad thing, though, because it enhances the ability of our cells to adapt to stress. And by improving our body's ability to adapt and giving our cells enough time to recover, fasting can enhance our body's resilience and create strong, healthy cells. All of these benefits can be seen when we practice intermittent fasting or fasting for short periods, like an 8-hour window that's encouraged in the 8-bar-16 intermittent fasting diet. But what happens when we fast for longer than 16 hours? If you'd like to learn more about how to reduce your risk of heart disease and improve your health and longevity, please don't forget to claim your 2 free gifts at the end of this video. They are designed to help you fight or prevent heart disease. Anyway, I'll get back to this video. For longer periods of fasting, or for what some may even call starvation, women are typically better set up to achieve this kind of fasting than men. This is because they usually have a larger amount of body fat, and the more fat stores available, the longer the individual can withstand long periods of fasting. For longer periods of fasting, the body will metabolize fat stores until it reverts to breaking down the only remaining fuel source in the body for energy: our muscle tissue. This stage of fasting is what can be the most detrimental for our health because it causes rapid weight loss and other severe side effects, which are not a good thing. Although the human body may be geared for survival when it comes to days and even weeks of prolonged fasting, it does not mean that it's healthy or that there are not serious consequences that arise from keeping the body in a state of starvation. Although there are some incredible benefits for long periods of fasting for the immune system, with some studies revealing that fasting for 3 days is enough to reset your entire immune system, for most people, you will find that a fasting period that lasts longer than 1 day will be enough to cause damage when it comes to your hormone balance and your mood. One human study observed the effects of a 72-hour fast, so that's a 3-day fast. And although the participants experienced significant decreases in glucose levels, body weight, and increased ketone bodies, they also experienced some complex psychological alterations. The study found that beyond the expected increase in appetite from starvation, there was also an increased sadness that was compared to having a major depression disorder. So be careful about this. The participants also were presented with increased self-blame, difficulty making decisions, and loss of libido. This study linked these results with previous research that demonstrates the severe psychological effects of dieting and food restriction. So, if you don't mind skipping breakfast and you want to experience the benefits of fasting, practice intermittent fasting. It is a much safer and evidence-based way to reduce inflammation, support your digestion, and reach your fat loss goals. Any period lasting longer than 16 hours appears to be pretty extreme, and many of the incredible benefits of fasting can still be experienced by fasting intermittently. So now we'd like to know, do you practice fasting? Please let us know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this? Have you ever tried a longer fast? What happened to you? Have you ever tried intermittent fasting? What benefits have you gained? And don't forget to claim both of your free gifts by clicking on the link in the description. And stay tuned to Heart Disease Code for more helpful tips and insights to improve your well-being. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell. It makes a huge difference to us. It motivates us. Seeing all of the subscribes, it means that you get our videos as soon as they come out. And we really, really appreciate all the feedback that you give us in the comments area below as well. So anyway, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.